Well, howdy diddly dandy there, chums. 'Tis I, Captain of Stews, and today, chums, I'm going to talk about 5 things that still annoy me in No Man's Sky after many years of them being implemented into game and them still being fairly under debate, damn right not working properly, or just really annoying. Okay, the first one, you can see where I'm heading with this. I'm heading over to Kronos. Now, Kronos, you hand him in foodstuffs, and he says something fairly interesting about whatever you give him, and says whether he liked the taste of it or not. Okay, but you have to sit through all this whole dialogue, and this dialogue is quite repetitive. It's funny the first couple of times that you do it, but then after that, all you're interested in is how much nanites you got. I got 40 nanites for that one. And you can only turn in one thing at a time. You can't select what you want to give him from your inventory. It just selects 3 things, which sometimes feels completely random. Sometimes those things can be on your freighter. It's freaking boring, it's tedious, it takes forever. I'd like to be able to choose what we give him from our inventory, and I would like to be able to give him more than one at a time. Okay, so there's that. That's the first annoyance, and I really do hope they revisit and relook at how you turn things into Kronos, because it is sheer tedium. Okay, the next one is modules. S-class modules, I usually buy them over at the station. You can't get S-class modules from this chap. But what you can do when you go to purchase upgrades from this chap is that you can go over and you can purchase as many as you want. Why is it you can purchase as many as you want from this guy, but you can't purchase as many as you want from over at the stations? And the only way to get additional ones at the stations is to do reloads. I'll show you what I mean. Now, chums, I'm just warping over to the station, having a sip of my tea. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like and subscribe and all that sort of shenanigans. And if you've got things that really annoy you, start typing them in the comments. Let's see if the thing that annoys you appears in this video. Okay, well, I've just hit up the multi-tool vendor and just say I wanted to get the S-class mining beam module for 308 nanites. Okay, I've purchased it. I can't purchase another one. It won't let me purchase another one, but you can install up to 3 of these before technology starts breaking. So the only way to get this vendor to restock another S-class module is to jump in your ship, out of your ship, then go on over and reload your save. We've got to wait for it to load round. There we go. Come on, finish load. There we are. Restore save point. And you have to reload. Then go up to the vendor and they'll restock another one. Okay, now that reload took roughly about, what, 15-20 seconds on my PlayStation 5. But if you're on an older platform like PlayStation 4 or something, you're probably looking at 5 times that amount of time, which is just an insane amount of time to wait just to come back up here, go over to the same kiosk, go over to the same vendor and buy the same freaking module. And if I wanted another one, I've got to do all that again. Why? Just make it so these chaps, these vendors up here, act in the same way as Ares does inside of the spatial anomaly. If you've got the nanites to buy more than one, let us buy more than one. It feels really strange to have to do this. Reload, resave, all that sort of stuff. It's just freaking annoying. It really is. Okay, the next one is when you're warping. Sometimes you have random freighter encounters. And those random freighter encounters are usually when a pirate is attacking, a whole fleet of pirates are attacking a freighter. And you get given no option as what you want to do. Oh, here you go, it's happened right now. So here we go, I'm flying over towards a freighter. Oh look, it's a nice dreadnoughty class one. What I would like to happen here is it to pop up with, do you want to assist the pirates? And if you do, they recognise you as a pirate for this whole interaction, and you can help loot the actual freighter. If I fly down here right now and I start shooting the actual freighter, it doesn't register that I've opted to help the pirates. There is no real choice. You've got to try and save the actual freighter. Now, another thing that's tied into this as well is if I do help the freighter, there's a good chance that freighter is going to be like a C class or a B class rather than A class or an S class, it might not even be worth having after all of this. And the only way to re-engage all of this and try again to see if you get an S class is to reload your save, just like we was doing in the station. Reload your save, shoot all these pirates down again, and hope for the best. But what would be nice is if this actual freighter interaction, firstly, you could choose to join and be a pirate and help the pirates, or whatever, or choose to even ignore it. Say, look, let nature take its course. I don't care. But what would be cool is if you saved this freighter in, say, like record-breaking time, the chances of you getting an S class goes up massively, or an A class, you know? The quicker you save it from destruction, the better the condition it's going to be in, and the better the class it's going to be. Make it more skill-based. Save us from having to do reloads and re-scuffing of saves, because it's just dead gaming. Anyway, I'm just going to take out these pirates and I'll show you the sort of class that I'm on about, just in case you're not sure what I'm on about when I say about S class and A class. Okay, take that, you scutter. Now, my own freighter is an S class and call it the Red Dwarf. It's a nice little freighter that I picked up. This freighter right here, if I scan the actual hull of the ship, it is actually a C class. C class, 25 slots. It's not worth having. So I had to take out, what, 12 ships or something mental? But right now, what I'll be doing is flying into the station, reloading the save, although it auto-saves now, making this even harder to do, to try and get yourself an S-Class freighter. But you can be at this for hours to get an S-Class freighter. And once you've got an S-Class freighter, like I have, it's very hard to get out of the fact that you're going to need to do this fight. And while you're in the fight, you can't actually scan any planets, you can't engage your pulse engines, you can't move, basically. You move like a slug in taffy. A lot of the time you have to fly inside of the station, do a reload of your save, just to get out of the freighter battle if you want to explore this system. A lot of people just try to get out of the range and just warp to another system just so they don't have to do with that sort of issue. But it'd be nice if you got given some sort of opportunity to say, yes, I'm going to help this freighter, or I'm going to help the pirates, or I'm not going to do either. Leave me the fudge alone so I can continue exploring this system, you know? It'd also be nice if the freighter encounters were a little bit different each time. Like sometimes maybe there's a freighter and it's whaling some sort of giant space fauna. So, you know, like a frigate, like a living frigate. And what you could do is help the living frigate from the freighter, and then you get that frigate offer to join your fleet, that sort of thing. Because it can be a little bit tedious, especially if you've already got an S-Class freighter. It'd be nice if the game knows that you've already got an S-Class freighter, and then it could give you some different interactions like the thing that I just mentioned. But at the moment, it feels a little bit redundant. It feels a little bit done to death. And you don't get choices to join whichever faction. And Sean Murray, right back at the E3, said, oh, you can make choices whether you want to be a pirate or... No, you can't. Not really. Yeah, you can join the Voice of Freedom, but even if I had the Voice of Freedom, I'd done a couple of warp jumps, and I'm actually doing pirate missions, it still doesn't register with me as being a pirate. Oh, and while we're talking about becoming a pirate and faction rating and all that sort of stuff, even if you've got the highest in Viking sort of diplomacy and all that lot, I've got the highest rating in Vikingerisms. Sometimes they call me a pathetic interloper even now, even though I've done everything I possibly can. I've learnt all their words, done everything I can do. Oh, actually, by the looks of things, I haven't learnt all their words. Looks like they might have added in a few new words. There's usually a handful of new words in an update. But yeah, I get called interloper or pathetic interloper by these guys all the time. It would just be nice if actual ratings with these different races actually meant something more than just numbers and stars and gold ratings. Okay, so the next annoyance is having to activate portals using materials and the actual system of doing so. So you have to click on it, click the item, drag it in, and then sometimes it doesn't even fully do it, even though you've got more than enough to do it. And you have to do it in pieces. It can just be really, really tedious, this, going round to activate a portal. to the point that I tend to just go to difficulty. I put it into creative mode, hit that, and then go over to it and activate the portal that way, because you can just click them then. You can just go around, you don't have to use up all of your materials and activate your portal. But even that's tedious. So what I was thinking is, if you've got like the Atlas Pass level 1, maybe it already activates maybe what, I don't know, 3 glyphs for you. And if you've got the Atlas Pass level 2, maybe it does 6. And once you've got the Atlas Pass level 3, when you interact with this, it does all of them, you know? So at least you're not having to find all the materials and all that sort of stuff. I think that'd be pretty darn cool. And to be honest, it's needed because it's just so tedious. The amount of times that you have to do this, especially if you're, you know, a portal code hunter and you like hitting up different multi-tools and ships and locations, or if you're just doing random portal adventures like I do. It's a pain in the neck having to reactivate this all the time. And when I'm talking about the Atlas Pass level 1, 2 and 3, when I actually joined the meetup, I actually got given an Atlas Pass level 4. Let me just grab it for a second. So this is what the Atlas Pass like level 3 looks like inside of game. Fairly simple, right? Yeah, I mean, we've all got these inside a game. But when I joined the meetup, oh, look, this is completely different in style to the other one. Very different in style to the other one. You know? Very different indeed. And this is a level 4, signed by Sean Murray himself. Worth an absolute fortune, that. But we haven't had them come into game. We've only got the Atlas Pass level 3s. But then again, the Atlas Pass level 3 doesn't do too much. In the stations, there used to be doors that you could go in and unlock them with the Atlas Pass. The only systems to actually have stations now where you can go inside of a station that has these doors are the abandoned ones. You see there under conflict says data unavailable. Yeah, they're the systems that are abandoned. I'll go in and show you what I mean. Okay, so these space stations are the old style space stations from yesteryear. They're all broken to shite from the outside. But yeah, when you fly on in, you've got 2 choices. You can go to the left or to the right mezzanines, and both of these have got doors that are locked and sealed behind an Atlas free pass level of clearance. And in some cases, if you get lucky, you get a remembrance terminal, and those remembrance terminals give you a bit of lore. They break the 4th wall. It's very much end-gamey type stuff, but there's not much that actually points you to these anymore, you know. So let's head on in. And right now, I mean, I needed the Atlas Pass level 3 to open this. You would expect to find something in here worthwhile of having. You never do. There's not much inside of these rooms that's worth having. There's some carbon, but you can get carbon on pretty much every planet known to man. I feel that there needs to be some sort of revamp to these rooms to make them more endgamey. I mean, it's hard to find these systems in the first place, and it's a little bit pointless coming to these systems anyway. But considering that the remembrance terminals are endgamey, and the Atlas Pass level 3 is quite a thing to actually be sought after and get, I would like to hope that these doors can house something pretty cool. Maybe new shaders for ship customization, or new ship parts, or new multi-tool parts, or multi-tool shaders. Customizations for your character to make yourself look far more sort of unique and customizable. Because at the moment these just feel redundant, they feel pointless, and they feel underbaked, underused and underutilized. A bit like everything else inside of this, it doesn't feel like a lot of thought and a lot of time has gone into whatever was supposed to happen with the Atlas Pass level 3. It's almost like these elements of game have kind of been forgotten about. And that's the point of this whole video. This is the sort of thing that I want to put over to Hello Games to say, please, if you are going to add a little bit of polish, I mean, they have in the past done updates like Synthesis or Prisms that added a load of stuff into game that needed a bit of bottoming out, a little bit more polish to them. These things are the things that annoy me the most, and I'd imagine that as a new player coming in are probably frustrating, or maybe even turning new players away from No Man's Sky in one way, shape or form, because they just seem to be over-engineered, over-padded, over-convoluted, and they take away from the fun that you're having and the immersion of the game, especially if you're doing reload after reload just to get yourself an S-Class freighter or to buy modules in a quantity of 3. Anyway, hello games. If you were listening, I love the game. I just want it to be as good as it can be. This is by no means a dig at you or the work that you do, which I think you get anyway. And please check out the comments on this video. Hopefully people have typed in lots of things that they feel could do with a little bit of polish or a little bit of a look at. Take a look at those for extra inspiration and ideas. The community, after all, are freaking awesome, and you listen to us. You listen to the community. Hello Games, you're awesome. You've won countless awards for best community. Salute Mondo. Cheers. I'm going to have a little swig of my tea. Goodbye, and goodbye again.